Whatever time it is, wherever you are, greetings to you. It's hot. We'll see how long I last. So there we go. That's a little bit better. This camera light gets incredibly hot, incredibly fast. I mean, keep shoveling myself around here. Happy Sunday to you. If it's Sunday where you are, maybe it's Monday in your part of the world. There's several things I want to talk about today, none of which is me getting up at 4 a.m. and I'm driving myself a little bit crazy with that. So, yes, I've been getting up at 4 a.m. And my friends call me at 7:30 and they're like, why can't you talk? And I'm like, I have to go to bed. Because I can't control what time I get up. And the better I feel, the earlier I get up. So I just have to be a responsible adult and actually go to sleep, knowing that I'm going to get up at 4 a.m. I will tell you, initially it was a little bit of a shock, but actually I really like doing yoga outside in front of the trash cans in the back of the apartment at 4 a.m. because there's nobody else out there and no noise except for the insects. So today at 4 a.m., I had quite the incredible experience. And if you have not seen that video and you are interested in the weird and wacky, you may want to check that out. If you're not interested in the weird and wacky, you can skip it. I don't know what's going on because I'm not sure what's going on. We'll blame it on the energy. This video is going to be about our current energy, and I turn the comments off because it's very distracting to me when it starts covering up my face, but I see that they are on, so I guess that was meant to be. Now they're off. So this video is going to be about our current energetic experience on planet Earth and the ET evacuation plan that has been in the books for probably 100 years, if not longer, 100 years to my knowledge, at least. The Great Financial Reset, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I want to start by saying thank you to the people that come here, that like the video, that are subscribed to my channel. I am growing this channel and I am loving this channel, and I am loving doing the tarot readings for people also. I remind myself every morning that I love this job, and I do love this job. So, wow. Anything is possible in this current energy. And I was wondering if I would even be able to hear the sound of my own voice in video format over the noise that I'm hearing in both ears, the vibration that I'm feeling as well. I've had a lot of action on the masculine side of my body, so starting at my foot and kind of gyrating up my leg the last 2-3 days, and in the palm of my hand radiating up my arm and back down my spine. I'm not sure if you guys are currently experiencing any of that. I don't know what's going on with my eyes. It looked like I smoked a blunt, but I can assure you that I did not. So anything is possible in this energy. It is so high vibration. I have no idea what the frequency is today as far as the hertz or anything like that. I haven't looked at it. But what I can tell you is it's extremely conducive for producing, creating, and manifesting anything and everything that you want to manifest. Anything is possible in this energy. I want to thank the people that have reached out to me specifically in the last 2 days, because the experience that I had this morning was quite something else. I had a hard time even describing it when I made a video this morning before 7 a.m., which is very, very out of character for me to do that. In fact, I've never done that. So I wouldn't say out of character. I should say it's just never happened. There was only one person there. I didn't expect anyone to be there. Actually, I think it might have been Jason. So thank you, Jason, if that was you. Thank you for being there for me at like 6:44 a.m. this morning. I do appreciate that. And I want to, as I said, thank the people that have come to me just in the last 2 days, because I have been seeing and feeling some very incredible things that made me feel like I was not even part or partial to this planet. And thank you, Shannon. Thank you, Mary. And thank you, Rachel, who reached out to me. And we're all experiencing these very similar things that I have been experiencing in the last 2 days. The vibration is so high, it's almost, there's definitely effort required to stay in the physical body. I know that many of you have been knocked out by the energy. Shannon messaged me earlier and said she had to come home from work. Her husband doesn't feel it as strongly as her, nor does he usually feel it at the same time. And they were messaging me from bed today, because he couldn't do anything else but bed today. So I hope you guys are having fun in bed today, Shannon and Matt. And thank you so much for this beautiful orgonite necklace. I'm not sure if you made that yourself, but thank you either way, whether you made it yourself or not. I made a video about 1 month ago, and the title of that video was "The Simulation, quote, is Source." Now that's a video that I made a month ago on this channel. If you've not seen that, I highly recommend it. A friend of mine messaged me and asked me if we were here to arrest the simulation, and I turned around and immediately responded to him. But the really wild thing was, within a few minutes of responding to him, all this information started pouring through about us not being here to arrest the simulation, that the simulation was source, the creation, the unlimited potential of the quantum field, which is source, is not a man in the sky. Hopefully I'm not destroying Santa Claus or your dream of God or Jesus or anything else in this video, but it could happen. So the simulation is source video that I made a month ago talked about how source created everything, right? So the universe, the omniverse, the multiverse, everything was created by source. And how we learn, how we teach ourselves to maneuver through the 3D, but also through other dimensions as well, is by maneuvering through the creation energy in this simulation. So source God, creation of all, is and created this simulation. So the simulation essentially gives you what you give it. So if you think that life is unfair, or your circumstances are unfair, or things like that, whatever you're putting out is what you're getting back. What you believe, what you feel comes back to you, but it comes back to you amplified from the simulation. You can think of it also like a mirror, and maybe that would be the way that you would want to explain it to a child or a teenager if they were interested in the subject. But as adults, I will say that the simulation is a reverberation quantum field that sends you back whatever you believe and whatever you feel. I'm not going to rediscuss what has already been discussed in that particular video. I'm just going to say that what you believe and what you feel comes back to you amplified from source, which is the simulation. And if you want to think of that like a mirror, but think about yourself, your thoughts, your words, your beliefs being amplified as they're coming back from that mirror itself. So it's not coming back to you in the way that you send it out. It's coming back to you in a much, much, much more amplified way. So that means source, the simulation, God itself gives you back what you believe, what you feel, and the words that you speak. This is the exact reason why so many people are able to heal themselves, why so many people are able to transform their lives into healing, into abundance, into loving relationships, into whatever it is that they want. Now, I've been around the block. I've been to so many churches, I can't even count. Starting as a teenager, I was very interested. I went to Baptist church. I went to Protestant church. I was raised Catholic. I've been to Pentecostal church. I have been to monastery. I have been to, you name it, I've pretty much been to it because I was always very interested in this stuff. And the reason that I was is my inner guidance system that connects me to the unlimited potential of the quantum field has existed since the time I was in the crib. Now, since 2012, and it really amped up in 2014, I started working with it to intentionally manifest and to intentionally seek things. Prior to that, it was just something that was happening to me because I was connected to it in that way, and I didn't tell myself not to believe it, and I had no parental figure in my life or adult in my life that was telling me not to believe it. So remember that when you're talking to your children or even your teenagers about anything. So the fact that people can heal themselves, the fact that people can create beautiful relationships and amazing jobs and pull in the house of their dreams and cure themselves of cancer is not because they're praying to Jesus or praying to Buddha or praying to Shiva or praying to God. And some people may not like this because we've all known people that believed very much in God or Jesus or Shiva or any outside other deity or ascended master. But those people did not always make it. They did not always stop what they were trying to stop, and that was their illness or their lack of abundance or their bad relationships or anything else. So the only thing that matters are your thoughts, your feelings, and your words. It is not the belief in Jesus, the belief in Krishna, or the belief in Buddha, or the belief in God that heals anyone. Because if that was true, then only people who believed in Jesus would be healed, or only people who believed in Shiva would be healed. But you can go around the world in every culture and find people that have healed themselves and dramatically changed their lives. It has nothing to do with these deities, these interdimensional beings, or these ascended masters. It is the literal power within you that transforms you by your thoughts, by your feelings, and by your spoken words. It's the power within you that transforms you. It's not anything external. And I think that you're well aware of this. However, I want to look at how that relates to the world and what we are currently experiencing right now. Right now, we have a reset that is imminent, and man, do I hate to use that word because you're probably all cringing, right? Or maybe you have your middle finger up at me because we've heard that word imminent so very many times, but it is imminent. And we know that. And the reason why you know it's imminent and why you believe it to be true is because it is, in fact, the truth. But here's what I want you to know about this truth. If you're looking at the fact that it's not Jesus or Buddha or Shiva or God that is healing you or changing your life or bringing miraculous people, places, and things to your situations, then you also have to realize that the reset, financial reset of commodities, has nothing to do with the quantum financial system or the quantum computer system of finance. It does in the way that we need a quantum financial system to take care of things algorithmically in a safe blockchain way that cannot be interfered with. That is true. However, that technology already exists and it's already here. Also, Basel I, Basel II, and Basel III compliant economic part and partial laws that have been extended to banking regulations have been done for the last 10 years. So if banking regulations are written down, they're on the books, so to speak, they're in the computer system, and our quantum financial system is already in place, and the technology from off planet is already here, then why don't we have the reset? The reason we don't have the reset is because we're waiting for the reset. I don't know any simpler other way to discuss this. Everybody has an energetic effect on everything. Every single one of us, whether you're completely out of the loop of what's happening behind the scenes, whether you're someone that just came privy to some of this information in the last several weeks, several months, or maybe even 2 years, everything is already in place. Everything is already ready to go. So, given and saying to you that every person, despite their awareness level or even complete their lack of, has an energetic effect on what is happening with the reset, what is happening with disclosure, what is happening with everything is a direct correlation from our energy. Now, if you've been on this channel before, you know I talk about relationships trickling in through the outer dimensions or inner dimensions or higher dimensions, whatever you want to look at that, way you want to look at that. There is no wrong way to look at that. The same thing is applicable to anything that we are pulling from a higher dimension into the third dimension in our ability to create and manifest. Yes, we have had extraterrestrial and interterrestrial and interdimensional and below our feet inner earth assistance with all of these things. But I think that you guys know that nothing is going to be done for us. And while every person has a part in this, has a play on this, on the world stage for the reset and for disclosure and for everything else, the higher the frequency and the more expanded your consciousness is, the larger the effect you have on any of the changes that you're wishing to see. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is because there's a whole lot of energy that I feel from people who are unhappy in different situations. Like maybe you just have a job that sucks, right? And you're just like, okay, but I've been here and dealing with this sucky job forever, and I only have 5 more years and then I can retire, right? It makes total and complete sense in the third dimensional logical aspect. But the thing is, most of us, even though we're in a physical body, are not solely hanging out in the third dimension. So while you're waiting 5 more years for your retirement or for your 401k or for whatever physical commodity it is you're waiting for, you are prolonging what is going on with the reset. And the reason that I tell you that we all have an energetic effect on the reset and disclosure and all the other happenings is because it's the absolute truth. However, the higher your frequency, the more expanded your consciousness is, and the further your wisdom goes down this rabbit hole to the center of the earth and back out to the cosmos, the greater effect you have on the financial system, on the financial reset, on disclosure, on advanced technology. Every single thing that you're waiting for is waiting for you to make a decision. Now, I do realize that there are things that have to be done in the third dimension, and I don't discredit that. But what I want you to know, as a person on the first wave of ascension, as a person with a very high frequency, okay, and as a person who has a very expanded conscious awareness, what that reset is waiting for is for our energy to trickle down. Remember, as I said, things come interdimensionally or extra dimensionally from a higher vibration first, right? So I can feel the vacation of my dreams, for example, right? And I don't cut that off. I don't say no to it, or it does not materialize. But when we say to the universe, to the simulation, I cannot leave this job until the reset. I cannot ask my kids to no longer live in the basement until the reset. I cannot make decisions in my relationship until the reset because I can't make it or I can't survive on my own or whatever it is. You, as a being with the highest light quotient on the planet, have such an amazing catalyst energy. So if the documents are done, they're typed and they're on the books or in the books, in the computer system, and the quantum financial system from off planet is here and up and running, I'm wanting you to ask yourself, what is the holdup? The holdup is not the cabal. It is not. It is us. It is our energy, and it's all of us. But as I said, if you're on the first wave ascension, you have more effect on the complete entire system. And that's everything that's quantum, okay? That's quantum healing technology. That's all quantum technology, period, including the financial reset. So, if you are a person that is saying, oh, I'm listening, I'm watching, I'm reading everything, I know it's soon, I know it's soon, I know it's soon, I'm telling you, the first wave is the one that flicks the finger and makes it happen. Because remember, in this simulation, it is only your beliefs, it is only your thoughts, and it is only your words that change this. It's an incredible thing that we have this kind of power. Now, the reason why you have so many groups saying it's happening tonight at midnight, says so-and-so, says so-and-so, says so-and-so, and this can just go on indefinitely. They want to play this teasing the 5-year-old with a unicorn at Christmas game that's been going on for at least a decade to my awareness, but maybe it's been going on for longer than that. It's because they don't want you to know that the power is within you. for the reset, for disclosure, and for every single thing that you're waiting for. Okay. Again, I'm not taking an outside component completely out of this. I'm telling you the outside components are already done and already complete. What we're waiting for is an inversion of the energy, specifically of those watching this video on the first wave. And again, not taking capability away from anyone, because we all have an amazing ability to create. There is no doubt about it. But anything that you might be procrastinating in your own life for the reset, the simulation of God itself is telling you this reset is waiting on you. Oh, hello, Herman. I'm glad you agree with me. How's it going there, buddy? Long time no talkie. So yes, we are the ones we're waiting for. 3D is in place. Quantum physics are in place. Quantum mechanics are in place, you guys. Every single thing is in place. Now, maybe you can't go in tomorrow and tell your boss a bunch of 4-letter words and walk out, okay? And I'm not suggesting that you do that. But try practicing your own personal power in smaller situations too. And I'm not saying that you guys don't recognize the importance or use or discern your personal power. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying we have a whole lot of people looking at an external world for when this inverted reality is going to flip. But the inversion must first flip within you. Energetically, everything happens first, right? I see this person, I feel this person coming into my life. If I doubt myself, if I tell myself this person's not real, this person doesn't like me, this person doesn't exist, whatever, he's not going to ever exist. The more I believe it, the more it comes natural to us to believe. It comes natural for us to create. It comes natural for us to use our imagination. And that's exactly where we create from, sorry guys, is our imagination. So we create from our imagination. If we are using our imagination to say, this person is giving me an update on when the reset's going to happen, or when disclosure is going to happen, and or when a certain timeline is going to happen. Again, a lot of that stuff about financial reset information is coming directly from the cabal. Now, why would they do that? Well, if you think about the really mean parent that keeps promising the unicorn for Christmas, they're hoping that that sometime, some point in the future down the road, that you'll forget about it, that you were lied to about it, that the entire thing was, in fact, just one big, incredible lie, that it's never going to happen. That's what they want you to believe. And I'm not saying that every single person is lying, but I'm saying there are a lot of people with a really big following that are lying to you, because once you've been lied to for a certain amount of time, you no longer believe in the unicorn. You no longer believe in Santa Claus. And eventually, you no longer believe in the reset. And that is the purpose of this so-called intel. The other purpose of this intel would be that so that you do not realize your own internal power. Because if everybody on the first wave, and it wouldn't even take all of us, I don't know how many there are, guys, I'm not going to pretend I do. But if a huge group of us on the first wave said, okay, I'm not doing anything today that doesn't put the power solely in my energy center. If we all did that, this reset would happen tomorrow. So maybe If you feel called to, maybe you could stop following external information even for 12 hours. I don't know. People have a hard time doing that, I'm noticing. But 12 hours, 24 hours, let's see what happens. Let's get together and say, again, they want you to believe when it doesn't happen, when they tell you every single night for so many years it's going to happen. I'm never getting the unicorn, right? This thing is never going to show up. That's the point of the intel, for you to start to disbelieve it. And again, the other reason for it is so that you don't realize that you yourself, we ourselves as a united front, we are the reset. When we dance in our higher frequency, we kick that domino over. When we kick that domino over, that quantum financial system comes on and there is nothing they can do about it. And that is the reason for C19. That is the reason for BLM. That is the reason for all of it. And sorry to burst your bubble if you think those are good organizations. And yes, we all care about the unification of humanity here. It has nothing to do with skin color. What I'm saying to you is every major distraction from 2019 till now is so that you don't realize the power within you to have anything you want. And I know that the majority of you just want an incredibly beautiful, pristine, non-polluted, free, sovereign planet for yourselves, your parents, your grandparents, your children, and your grandchildren. That's what we want. This is not about being selfish here at all, okay? So again, they don't want you to know that the power of the reset and the disclosure and everything else that I hear people say they're waiting on. Stop waiting. We're here. Same thing with the event, the solar event. I started talking about this in December of last year. We are causing solar flares. Masculine, feminine energy, balanced masculine, feminine energy within the population, within your own body, is causing solar flares. If I can cause a solar flare by balancing my energy, I know for sure that we can cause the reset by balancing our internal energy and disregarding some of the external. And we're never going to disregard all of the external information, external assistance or anything like that. I'm just saying, take the power away from the cabal. Take the power away from the Illuminati. Take this power away from whoever you're giving it to that's deciding when that reset happens. That decision is right here. And we can make this decision right now. So let's do this. Let's flip this inverted reality. We have the power. That quantum financial system is not going to kick on or kick in without us. Okay, you may say, oh, well, that's quantum mechanics. And, that doesn't need me. Yes, it does. Remember, the higher energy always comes through as a thought, as a feeling, as your imagination before anything happens, right? So what if I don't get up in the morning and have the idea to flick the light switch on? Am I going to be able to see to get to the table to write in my journal? No. The idea comes first. The thought comes first. And the emotion and the feeling is what manifests, what creates that. So the simulation is source. What you believe, what you feel, the words you speak are amplified by the simulation. So when we put that out there, that we are the power to change this world in every single direction, that's when the reset is going to happen. Not tonight at midnight Eastern Standard Time, like they've been saying, for what feels like an absolute millennia. And there are amazing signposts and disclosures happening. And again, I'm not telling you to disregard it all. I'm telling you the reset starts right here, right now. So let's flip it. Let's do it. Nothing external to you has any power over you. Now, that doesn't mean external powers don't have powers over 3D bodies, over 3D vessels, or over 3D entities, because they certainly do. As I mentioned a couple days ago, I've been a targeted individual my entire life. Am I still targeted? Probably. Does it affect me? Absolutely not, because my vibration is now above the target. Let's raise our vibration above the target and know where the power is, know where this reset is coming from. Okay? The quantum financial system is it's a simulation, you guys, of how the heart works, how the heart pumps, and its true focus, form, and ability within the human body. The quantum financial system was made in the like image. And right now, getting in your heart space and causing that reset will cause the reset. If you are such a person that is saying, I cannot start my own business, I can't learn how to read tarot, I can't leave my abusive husband, I can't, until the reset, we're prolonging the reset. No matter what your situation is, and I've said this before, I'm here for you. I understand I've been in that position before. I'm definitely here for you. And I'd be happy to hear from you, okay, if that is your situation. But there's no excuse to let anyone, whether it's the cabal, the Illuminati, our government, what's the difference? There's no reason to let anybody treat you like a rock when we are, in fact, a diamond. We are the diamond template of New Earth. We are the cause for the reset. We are the cause for disclosure. We are the cause for quantum everything that's about to be within the reach of our own fingertips and in our own lives. Restart that heart center. That means the way to flip the financial system is to do, be, and feel what you love. Anything that you are participating in that is not love and joy and excitement and wonder and awe and imagination is slowing down the reset. And I know it's a hard thing to say for me, and I know it's a hard thing to hear for people, because I'm not blaming you for not wanting to leave that relationship or leave that job or kick your kids out of the basement, right? But it is important for us to understand that it happens energetically first. And you guys are, for months or for the last year or 2 years, I feel it, it's about to happen. And that's what makes us want to check these external sources, right? Is the fact that we can feel it. But we have to feel it and then recognize the source within instead of the external source, and that is what brings it here. I hope I'm not coming across as being mean or judgmental or anything like that. I just want to say it one more time because it's so incredibly important. Anything that you are procrastinating for the sake of a financial reset or for the sake of your personal freedom is actually slowing down the reset, financial abundance, and your personal freedom. We all have the power to make a choice, and we all affect this algorithmic simulation. We do. So get in your own quantum heart space and reset your life to joy, to love, and to happiness. And when you do that, this quantum financial system that's already in place is going to click over and be in place. The other area that relates to this very heavily and very synchronistically is the whole alien scenario, okay? Some of us are absolutely involved in off-planet meetings at night. We're involved in workings. I have spoken to many of you who have been up in the ships at night and don't remember much of anything. And through talking to you, I realized that the reason this is happening is because when we get into an evacuation plan type of scenario, you already know the layout of the ship. Okay, so like you know where the food is, you know where the dry goods are, you know where medical supplies are, you know where the hospital is, all those things, and that's why you're not remembering it. In this evacuation scenario, as soon as you step on that ship, I am shown that you will have full memory of the layout of the ship, where you're going. Many of you have seen this and just questioned and reached out to me and asked why you would be in a ship, walking around the ship, taking, note of what's here and what's there, but not having any conversation with anybody and not having any recollection other than that later. And that is so that you have the geographical lowdown, okay? So that you have that information when that scenario happens. Now, some of you who have not been doing this may be saying, well, why would I look around to see where, the hospital is, or medical supplies, or foods, or dry goods, or anything like that? You guys, these ships are huge. I saw a ship come through the sun, August 2018. I will never forget it. I swear it was the size of a planet bigger than Earth, with its complete ecosystem and everything else. These ships are absolutely huge. The good thing is they are less cluttered and more operational, directional, more militant than the way we keep planet Earth. There are many things written on the floors, directions. Lots of things are labeled. Not sure why I'm seeing the inside of a ship before. Seeing that now, because I've not seen it before. I've seen the outside and I've talked to people through the glass. Neither here nor there. Many of you are visiting ships at night, so that when that evacuation scenario happens, you will understand what it is you're being asked to do, and specifically also what your job is to do. The other thing about that, and we'll use this, it's the same as believing in Shiva or believing in Jesus or believing that God is a man in the sky, okay? Our beliefs right now, our feelings and our emotions and our words are so important and critical at this time. There are many people focusing on the fact that I don't need to worry about this, or I don't need to solve the riddles in my life, or I don't need to deal with my own trauma because I will be taken in a ship and I will be taken from this place, or I will be taken in a ship and my body will be healed by a quantum healing machine. Yes, those things do exist. And those things will be used as well. The thing is, if you know that there is a such thing as quantum healing, you are knowing that, you're feeling that, and you're believing that, so you can step into and pull that energy into your field now and heal yourself instead of waiting for a quantum healing bed the same way some people are waiting on a quantum reset. These things are all exactly the same. There is no race that is going to save us. Many of the races that talk to us and many people that receive channeled information are getting information that is not the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, would be to put it lightly. Much of it is distraction, much of it is untruth. And much of it is, again, it's the same exact beast that we are turning our back from with the cabal or with the Illuminati, okay? And I'm not saying they're all like that, but I'm saying most of the ones that are reaching out to Earth within the last several years are doing this intentionally, and it's the same exact reason as the financial reset and the cabal. They do not want you to know that you are the power, that you are the voice, that you are the love, and that you are the algorithmic restart to everything. Many, many races are here watching. Many races were involved in the creation of humanity, not one simple thing, one simple energy, or one simple being. Hopefully that is not a shock to you either. Okay? Yes, there is a quantum field of unlimited potential created by the source God of all creation in this omniverse that goes on infinitely further than anything I could ever try to put into words to you. However, there are 22 other groups of beings after that that have messed with our genetics for the good, the bad, and the ugly. So would we call that God? Would we call that source? Would we call that dissimulation? Because that's just another part of sentient life that is also learning and experimenting on this planet at the same time we are. So while there are many, many races and multitudes of beings out there that absolutely, both physically and energetically and spiritually, have our backs at this time, they are not usually the ones involved in coming to you and giving you a message about this happening on this date or this happening in this date. Now, please don't take what I say as the be all end all, as I always say, because absolutely there are races that are helping in every sector of this planet. What I'm saying is, when it comes to what you look at or feel like is disclosure, a lot of that is coming from a different head on the same body. It's just another extension of the cabal, right? Okay, so here's an easy way to understand it. If 4,000 years ago, everybody believed in organized religion, I'm a good person, I go to church, I pay my taxes, I do what you tell me to do, right? And then there becomes this movement on earth where people stop going to the church, or they stop believing in Orthodox religion, or they stop believing in indoctrinated religion, and they exit the church and turn spiritual. So if I have a huge group of beings on the planet that have turned away from the church, how do I now encompass them in my plan of manipulation and control? I do the opposite. And I'm not saying that everything is manipulation and control. I'm not saying that there are not amazing beings at this amazing time helping us on this amazing planet. What I'm saying is, so much of the involvement is more interference than I think you might be actually aware of. Now, the reason that there are so many millions of spaceships in our atmosphere right now, and they came through, I want to say it was August 19th, but I can't remember. It was August 2018, and we'll never, ever, ever forget that. That was the most intense, what is the word? Vision. It wasn't a vision though, because I saw it while it was physically happening, and I got proof the next day. That is the most far out, way out thing that I could have definitely ever experienced in remote viewing. And as you guys know, when you are quiet, a lot of the times you tap into some pretty amazing things. And that's what happened this particular night. But I saw millions and millions of ships come directly through the sun. And at that time, I did not know that beings were coming through the sun, that the sun was a stargate. However, I talked to the commander and I received very specific information about why they were there, and that's what I want to share with you. Okay, they're not here to hook up the quantum financial system to, the outlet in my apartment. Okay, they're not here to have coffee with me to give me some sort of channeled message to broadcast to the world. They're here logistically and strategically and militarily as backup, because there are some pretty incredible things that have been planned for this exact moment when humanity woke up, smelled the bacon, and turned against its own government. When we stood up, took our freedom back, and took our sovereignty back, there was an incredible plan of many, many things. And I'm not going to go into the negative aspect. You guys know how that works, and I'm sure that you know exactly what I'm saying to you. What I'm saying is there are two reasons for millions and millions of ships to be up there right now. The first reason that they are there is to make sure that nothing destructive or catastrophic happens on this planet. And that is whether that be man-made or whether that be organic. Okay, so we have a 50-50 shot of both organic and inorganic or man-made issues, events, where evacuation would be called for or interference would be called for. So that is why the majority of those ships are up there. Now, there is about maybe 10 or 15% of those ships up there that is not, they are not helping us in any way. They are not interfering with us in any way. This has just become the show of a lifetime on planet Earth. What is happening at the end of this cycle has never happened before. Okay, so the culmination of the end of the cycle, we have a ton of things. We have us, going through our karma. We have the meetings of people and the cooperation with people that we have worked with from a love perspective, but also from a healing perspective, from a quantum technology spectrum and everything else. So 10 to 15% of these ships, of these beings up there right now, are up there because they are watching, they are recording exactly how we are interacting with the simulation, how we're realizing what the source connection is between our body and the simulation, and how we are working with that and learning with that, how we are teaching each other through waves what is actually going on, excuse me, bit by bit and piece by piece. If you think about what you know, you would not meet someone on the street and say, why don't you come over and I'm going to tell you everything that I've seen in a vision for the last 30 years. Let me come over to your house and tell you everything I've discovered about the planetary corruption. No, you don't do that, right? We ease into it. And so they are very eagerly and very entertainingly watching each other and watching us interact, teach each other, learn how to work with the source simulation and creating and manifesting. But that is their sole purpose for being there. The other group, the other 75 to 80, 85, 90% is there. They can be here in approximately 30 seconds to 3 minutes, depending on what type of quantum mechanics. This is really hard for me, guys, without the words for this. But all you need to know is they can be here between 30 seconds and 3 minutes. Now, this was explained to me in a way I can think everybody can understand, and I'm going to share that with you. It also explained to me why I'd never watched a single alien invasion movie in my entire life. So this commander proceeded to tell me that in the emergency, how fast they could get here, and not only how fast they could get here, but the evacuation plan is the reason why they're there. And that's, again, the reason why people have been visiting them at night and getting tours of the ships. They have no intention of taking you or taking me off planet to some other fluffy little place where we can ignore our karma or our family drama or whatever we have going on. That is just another pipe dream that needs a serious reality check, you guys. We're not going to be lifted out of this. All we have to do is realize our own personal power and make an attempt at easing that karma. We learn our lesson, okay? That's essentially all we have to do, is learn that lesson. I really think it's important, though, for you to know that this is about safety, and it's about it's about safety, and it's about evacuation, okay? It's not about someone's going to give you a lift and take you off of this horrible planet that you always felt like you didn't belong on. That is our responsibility to rectify. I think it's been the last 2 months now that I've been talking about the fact that we need to stop disengaging in what we know is unhappy to us and move in a fulfilling direction. And this is the reason why. You're never going to be happy on this planet until you learn that your thoughts and your feelings and your words create. So you can change your life. You can turn anything around that you want to. Now, what this commander specifically told me is that not only can they be here in a matter of seconds, the reason why there are so many stationed is, again, because there's a 50-50 probability of earth changes and other things. Now, I will tell you that most of the threat from the interference from our own government or whoever, or whatever you would like to call that, or however you want to look at that, is not so much an issue, but it's not something that they're going to take a chance with. And please don't drop into fear mode. A couple of videos ago that I made telling people to get right with themselves, because everything that they've been waiting for to happen is going to start happening very, very shortly. A lot of people reached out to me in fear. What do you mean, what's going to happen? What are you seeing? What's going to happen? You guys, I've been sharing with you for 4 years what I know and what I see and what I feel is going to happen. That has not changed. The point of that particular video was to tell you that whatever in your life you need to get right with that brings you happiness and joy is what you need to be focusing on, not the external world. So this is just kind of an elaboration maybe on that same video. The evacuation plan is this. And again, let's not get into fear. This is not a fear thing, okay? But you guys, you do know how big the Ring of Fire is, right? The Ring of Fire is really big, okay? There are thousands of ships that are ready for that evacuation plan. Now, I know that people talk about all the time, don't live on the coastline, it's unsafe, or don't live by a volcano, it's unsafe, it's whatever. You have to live where you love and where you feel comfortable. And again, there is an evacuation plan in place, and that is why so many ships are there. So if you love living on that Ring of Fire, if you love living in California like my friend Herman, go on, continue with your beautiful geographical location. That is what there are so many ships in waiting for. Again, it's not to whisk you away to a dreamy little place. We have to face everything. And a lot of people talk about in the ascension process how drugs and alcohol and other these things are all escapism, right? Like, why would someone do that? That's just escapism. We've all done it in our lives, let's be honest. However, thinking that someone is going to put you on a ship and take you to Lyra or take you to the Pleiades or take you to somewhere where you don't have to actually walk through your own fire and out the side to your personal freedom and sovereignty that is escapism. To think that you can wait for to make changes in your life, for the reset, that is also escapism, just like drugs and just like alcohol. The real evacuation plan was explained to me this way. In the event that you live in California, in the event that you live on the Ring of Fire or in a place that could have possibly crazy storms, we've already had a lot of crazy storms in the last couple of years. The evacuation plan is in place so that you can be picked up within a matter of seconds to safety, and they're not taking you to another planet far, far away in a land of make-believe. They are going to hold you in that ship, and one of two things will happen. They will put you in a location that's close to your location of origin where you are safe, or they will keep you in that. They will keep a group of people in that ship until such a time when civil engineers and firemen and people like that have made sure that things are safe for people to be put back in their location or relocate to somewhere close to their family or close to that. That is another reason. Sorry to be all over the place. There's a lot going on energetically. That's another reason why you guys have been touring the ships. When people get picked up, these ships are so big. If you have 3 children and you're looking for 3 children, somebody like a stewardess like me may come up to you and say, okay, your children are in waiting room G, for example. Okay. So there's a lot of that kind of, this is what the evacuation plan is really like. It's not a fairy tale. Now, if you're living in a fairy tale beautiful location and you don't want to move, you know it's dangerous, that's because at some level, maybe completely cognitively, maybe unconsciously, there is an evacuation plan. The millions of ships are up there in the event of evacuation plan, and it's mostly for earth changes. Okay. So that's what's important to know. The other thing the commander told me about the evacuation plan, and this was somewhat mind-blowing to me. And actually, while he was speaking, I saw it happening in physical reality. And what he showed me was the Golden Gate Bridge, which was amazing because I'd never seen the Golden Gate Bridge in advance. So there was an earthquake near the area, and the Golden Gate Bridge was just starting to go down, right? And when it started to go down, this huge ship showed up and immediately got close and was asking people, they're not going to take anybody. Okay. They're not taking anybody. If you've made an arrangement previously and you are a stewardess or someone that is assisting on the ship, yes, they will not stop and ask your permission. It's already been given, whether you remember that or not. But the important thing to know here is what he showed me was when the Golden Gate Bridge started to go down, there were 3 different reactions from people on the bridge. The first person was the person that saw the ship, immediately knew that that ship was there to save their life, had 0 questions, looked up, telepathically said, I'm ready, and they got taken. The second group of people on the Golden Gate Bridge were the people that said, ooh, I don't know, go in a ship. Maybe I'll have to worry about things they might do. Go in a ship. And I just kept seeing them look back and forth, like looking at the crumbling bridge, looking at the spaceship, and then most of them decided to get on. However, the third group of people, and I'm not saying you'll be in this group if you've seen a million of these movies, but the third group of people was the group that automatically I could see in their body's field every nightmare thing they've ever heard or read or seen in a movie about probes and invasions and test tube babies and all that other stuff. And they made the cognitive choice right then and there, and they said, oh, no way I'm getting on a ship and having that happen to me. I'd rather die. And they died in an instant. Okay. The really strange thing about this was he told me the reason for all these alien invasion movies, the reason why in every alien movie, the invasion basically boils down to the same thing. There's a ship, I get my gun, I get my weapon, I get whatever. We start bombing things. We don't ask questions. We don't ask who they are. We don't ask if they're here for an evacuation plan. We don't ask if they're here to help humanity. We just start shooting at them. We say, oh, hell no, I'm not going to get in a ship with you. That is the whole point of every alien invasion movie ever. And that is exactly what he told me. The point of that was, so when that scenario happens of evacuation, they wanted as many people as humanly possible to not have their lives saved by getting on a ship temporarily until that, whatever, that storm or what volcanic thing, whatever was going on, it was a temporary evacuation. And through 50 years of movies, they have force fed it to you to believe that this, and this are going to happen when you get on the ship, and the end all is that you're going to die. And the reason for that was the evacuation plan that's been in place, been written for 100 years, to my knowledge. I don't know how long it's really been there, but the point of all of that was so that when the evacuation plan got enacted, that there would be a lot of casualty because of those movies, because people would be afraid to get on. Now, I instantly knew that I was in that first group, but that went way beyond this. I have been in the house, many, many houses with many, many people who have tried to get me to watch, I don't even know the names of the movies. There's been so many invasion movies in the last 20 years. It's insane. Okay. And again, that is for this evacuation plan so that you do not take that evacuation plan when it is offered to you. And I said to the commander, that's so crazy, because I always knew, even if it was on in my household and it was my best friend or my boyfriend or my parents or whoever, likely, unlikely, it was my parents and watch stuff like that. But I knew it was a really bad idea, just like I knew science was a bad idea to indoctrinate myself, just like I knew religion was a bad idea to indoctrinate myself. I have kept myself, I know it sounds ridiculous, but I have kept myself literally clean by being uneducated and unversed in these things that are a huge piece of pulp culture. I mean, so many people are like, oh my God, I can't believe you haven't, I haven't seen this movie. And I literally can't even think of one single movie title because I haven't watched any of them. But that became so crystal clear when he told me. Immediately when he said, if you're in a bad area, evacuation, immediately I saw myself accept the assistance, accept the evacuation. So, hence the reason for alien invasion movies. It's also the biggest reason that you've been hearing nothing for the past 5 years, except for most of the spiritual channels and most of people that are trying to assist you in one way or the other are all delivering the exact same message. Use your discernment. Now, you're not using your discernment to choose peanut butter for your kids, you guys. You're using your discernment so that you can attune your body's frequency to the frequency of that ship or that other being or whatever that proposition is in front of you, so that you know whether that is a good idea or not. Because, we're taught when a stranger comes up and says, hey, do you want to ride? We just say, oh my God, stranger danger, right? But that's not always the case. So everyone that's been telling you to pay attention to how your body feels in certain places or around certain people is because of this evacuation. That's exactly what it's for. And it's also the only other reason. Well, that's not true. We use our discernment for everything. The biggest reason is the evacuation plan. And the other biggest reason for that is because they have holographic technology, and you know that they had planned for many, many years to do a fake invasion, which I think people will either be laughing at this point, probably because so many people have woken up. Thank you to their last 2019 stunt, which woke up approximately about 35–40% of the planet. So it's unlikely that that scenario even happens. But they do have the holographic technology. Herman, you know I'm making a video and you're calling me. That's, you were just here. He must have left and then decided to call me. But anyway, I'm sorry. So the holographic technology that can make it look like a plane is going into a building, or make it look like Santa Claus is on your roof, or make it look like angels are riding in the back seat of your car. Okay. So when those type of things happen, and like I said, outside of the alien invasion, just think about the holographic technology. If they have the technology and they can show you angels riding in the back of your car or whatever, which is ironic because that's what Meta on Facebook is changing into, if you haven't looked at that, is they can insert holographic things into your reality with these glasses on, and completely unknowns to you. It's not like your normal, I'm scrolling and I'm going to decide what I'm going to watch or not watch. This is, they have the right to put in angels or demons or whatever, anything, anytime they want. So this is the scenario. And most of the scenario that we have to be afraid of is not physical, it's psychological, and it's holographic. So if I see an angel sitting at my dining room table, I'm not going to assume it is or is not an angel. I'm going to close my eyes and ask myself to feel the vibration of that being, because a holographic image at my table is going to have a different frequency than an actual angel or interdimensional being that's sitting at my table. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. It's so important, and I don't mean to come across as mean or indignant or chastising, but what you believe, what you feel, and what you speak is what's bringing everything to reality that we've ever wanted. We have got to stop waiting for our happiness for a reset. We have to stop waiting on our happiness to escape to another planet. Because even if we escape to another planet, that escapism is not going to do us any good, because if we haven't solved that lesson, we haven't learned that lesson, and we haven't put that into practical use and altered our physical lives, it's going to be exactly the same on another planet, you guys. Okay? Get in your personal power. What you believe, what you feel, what you speak comes back from God, the source of unlimited potential within the quantum field, and is amplified many, many times over in the simulation before it comes back to you. Think yourself, feel yourself, and dream yourself to wealth, to love, to happiness, to joy, to healing, and for the love of God, please, let's pull our power in, take our power back, and bring this reset and this disclosure and everything else. There's no reason to wait. When you realize I'm in charge of this project, you're in charge of this project. All of humanity is in charge of this project. Pull your power back in and create the project that you want to see instead of somebody else's project. Because even if it is a simulation designed by God, the Creator himself, and that's what I feel like it is after my many, many, many visions and learnings and messages and conversations and decades of isolation. That's what I feel in every cell of my being, that it is. Whatever I put back comes out there. Let's use our imagination. Let's dream big, 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 okay? And let's bring it home. Let's bring it home. Let's bring it home. Let's bring it home. It is nothing external to you, no deity, no ascended master, no quantum machine of any type. It is nothing external to you. It is the power within you to transform you. And when you transform your thoughts, your words, your beliefs, and your feelings, that is when we transform the simulation. And they know this. Hence the last 2 years of everything. That needs no explanation. I love you and thank you so much for being here. If you're interested in the craziness that happened in my life at 4 a.m. this morning, you may want to check out my video titled Something Orbs. I can't even remember. The possibility of orbs or something. I don't know. I love you. Thank you for being here. And the power is within us. We are the power to take the inverted matrix and reinvent it. Reinvent yourself. You will reinvent the world around you. Whatever you're waiting on this reset for, whatever you're waiting to be healed in your body for a med bed, heal that, change that, restart the calibration and reset the calibration of your quantum heart, and everything else in your life will change. And then our external will change. And we are so, so, so close to being there. I just wanted you to know how powerful, how special, and how beautiful you are. And that we are doing it and doing it and doing it well, as they say. I love you. Thank you for being here. Bye.